Another week, another compilation of BYOC. There will be a compilation of these compilations, by the way. Tumbling ever further down the bring your own class rabbit hole, we now reach Bob and Bob. A pair of arguing cowboys with pedal bin heads that are not strictly part of Pizza Tower, occasionally make cameos, but nonetheless are playable here in BYOC. It's certainly an interesting class to play with from a visual standpoint. No traditional weapon on screen here. Instead, you get these animated comic panels that reflect whatever weapon you're currently firing. Weapons occasionally alternate between the duo, and depending on which one you're currently playing as, well, that will determine what flavor of super you can trigger. Each is equipped with their own brand of kicking melee, with quite a significant range, I might add. But when it comes to my favorite weaponry out of the selection here, can't help but have a soft spot for the big old mounted Gatling gun, and of course, the tank, which shoots absurdly large projectiles. But just in case you're wondering what's in the BFG slot, well, it's a big old fist. Ah, fancy seeing you here. Welcome back to another entry of BYOC. This time, we're playing as the Melty Man. Certainly a Pizza Tower feeling design, but apparently its own thing. Basically some kind of hobo with a tremendous case of poor anger management. Melty Man will see you just beating the ever-loving crap out of anything in front of you, and then just pelting them with various degrees of trash. We got pipes, we got entire trash cans, exploding teddy bears, a flamethrower aerosol can, and a double-barreled mega shotgun that seems to be constructed largely out of disused tin cans, which then fire screws. Basically, playing as this guy feels like an exercise in domestic terrorism. He is just a rage-filled psychopath with a rage meter to boot that, when active, allows you to tank significant degrees of damage. Pretty sure there's a power-up that lets you recoup health through punching as well. He's a scary man. I've since been informed he's based on Darkman, and now everything makes perfect sense. Hey, did you know Bring Your Own Class features not one, but two different flavors of Serious Sam? The first is original recipe. Not much by the way of frills, all things considered. Everything is largely primary fire, no alts to speak of. And if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the Serious Sam original class is here to make the other class, that being from Serious Sam 4, feel a little bit more spiffy. That's right, they just cut out a whole bunch of games in the middle there and skipped straight to Serious Sam 4. We got full auto shotties, pump actions with underbarrel grenade launches, weapons with hilariously redundant ADS. But if you want to know my personal favorite picks out of the crop, well, there's the minigun. I mean, look at it. A rocket launcher that can be stacked up to 5 at any time. A launcher that acts both as chainsaw and a homing rocket chainsaw. And of course, the cannon. Gotta love the cannon. Can't help but feel like it's missing something, though. For this entry, BYOC asks you one simple question, that being, have you eaten your breakfast? And was it Chex Mix? Unfortunately for me, being British, I never had the pleasure, but at the very least, we get to play as Fred Chexter. The whole thing about Chex Quest was that you weren't really killing enemies in it, you were teleporting them back to their home planet. Zorching, if you will. I'm not sure if that's working too well on the demons. They don't seem to be really teleporting anywhere. Somewhat surprisingly, I really like how the weaponry feels here. Follows a kind of similar curve to that of the Doom roster. You can tell what's a shotgun, a super shotgun, minigun, chainsaw. Was, however, quite surprised by the ability to just throw a Flemoid into battle, and it'll fight for you. Kinda neat. Speaking of neat, BFG analog here. Woo boy, that's got some suction. In all honesty, much more fun than I expected this class to be. Capping off this batch of BYOC, we have the Heavy. OTF2 fame. He is appropriately big and slow. He does indeed enjoy sandwich. And shockingly here, wields things other than the minigun. We have a comically small pistol, 2 brands of shotgun, one kind of perfunctory, the other much more satisfying to use. There's the aforementioned minigun, which works much better in short to mid-range, loses a lot of its accuracy at long range. The Beggar's Bazooka, which allows you to load up to 3 rockets at once. And then a curious collection of weapons occupy the upper echelon of the arsenal here. The plasma gun slot occupied by the Thompson 6000, which is still vaguely energy weapony. And then there's the Cowmangler, which seems to be TF2's answer to the BFG. Funnily enough, you do get fists, but no boxing gloves, which is a shame. And if you keep them out long enough, you can speed up slightly. Good for closing distance. Still, a bit too slow for me overall. Anyways, that's it for this week's compilation of Bring Your Own Class. Hope you've enjoyed, and feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments. Also, big thanks to my patrons, currently scrolling up screen, and if you too would like to be part of this esteemed list, you can find a link to my Patreon page in the description below. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.